What's up, guys? JoeClin15 coming at you again. I make this video because I feel it's very necessary. I am to understand that many people are choosing to boycott the Manny Pacquiao versus Antonio Margarito fight coming up March 13th. And frankly, I think there's a lot of legitimate reasons for doing so. And at first, I was one of those people who were like, yeah, I'm not gonna see this fight. But recently, I've been thinking, and I think it is in our best interest. No, maybe not best interest, but I think that we should watch this fight. A lot of people want to boycott this fight because out of retaliation for not getting what we wanted, which was Mayweather Pacquiao, and because Bob Arum is cheating the sport by allowing Manny to fight somebody who cheated in Margarito. And the fight being fought for the, I think, the WBC junior middleweight championship. I think WBC, I can't remember, but that was Martinez's belt, in which he earned deservingly. And Manny, who's never fought at 154, is getting to fight for it. And Margarito, who should be banned, is fighting for it, and that's not fair. I agree. That is unfair. But I think the reason why I think we should watch this fight is because Manny is in he's in a position where he's not as much at fault in my eyes as Bob Arum is for this. People view Arum as a corrupt godfather-like figure in the world of boxing, much like Don King, and I completely agree with that. I don't like Bob Arum at all, but you have to understand, people like Don, people like Bob, once you are under their contract, once you are under their control, you're very limited in the choices you get to make, believe it or not, even if you do reach it to the top. And you can even ask Tyson that. I think this is something very serious. For a long time, I've been criticizing Manny for not being his own man and speaking up for himself. Say who you want to fight. Don't let Roach and Arum speak for you. But I feel like there's a slight possibility, actually not even slight, but a good possibility that it's a lot harder than it sounds when you're under somebody like Bob Arum. I feel like you have to keep your mouth shut, otherwise you will lose all kinds of money. He already gets 27% of the purse, and there's probably more than that. Don King was able to trick Tyson into all these loopholes and contracts and getting his money. Bob Arum is worse. I'm telling you, it's probably worse than 27% cut. There's probably more loopholes and things that he's taking advantage of within the contracts. And it's probably easier for him to do that because Manny, doesn't speak English. And I know that Manny can hire any kind of border, anybody to translate for him or do this for him. I'm sure he has an agent, but not really, not one that's going to have more say than Bob. I think Manny is in a lot tougher position than people think in terms of being his own man. It's like once you get in, you're in, and you're not going anywhere. Very subtle. Bob is running the show, not you. So if there's any kind of incentive to watch this fight, I think it should be that you know, despite what you think of Manny, he has brought us entertaining fights. Uh, and don't look at it as supporting Bob Arum. While he may get 27% of the cut, and you're making Bob Arum richer, you know, find it odd that Manny is saying in interviews, I don't need this fight. I don't need the fight. It's just odd coming. It should be obvious if you're making bank that you wouldn't say something like that. You wouldn't hear Tiger be like, "Oh, I don't need the money." Yeah, of course you need the money. The highest paid athlete. Usually when people say they don't need something, they do need something. Another reason why people want to protest this fight is because they are afraid that they're going to be cheated in terms of it being a fixed fight. Many people think that the Colati and Pacquiao fight on November 13th of this year was a fixed fight. Honestly, we can never know. I think Bob Arum is somebody who would do that. And I think, there are, I hate to say it, but there's some things about that fight that are extraordinarily weird to me, that lead me to believe that there's a good possibility that it was somewhat of a fixed fight. And you can be upset about that and be mad at me about that. Oh, this nigger talk about Manny, whatever. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. That happens in the sport of boxing. And what I'm trying to say is that Manny, if it is a fixed fight, if it was a fixed fight, then Manny would not be in a good position to be like, hey, Bob tried to set something up, because I think Bob could end his career just like that. Bob would probably be fucking probably retaliate, be like, yeah, you know what, he is on steroids, or, you know what I'm saying, something like that. I'm not even joking you. That's the way these corrupt promoters work. But anyway, back to the discussion. If you are fearful that this could be another fixed fight because Bob Arum is taking his fighters and putting them together to keep the money in-house, I think that is going to be, I think that's absolutely wrong. I think that there is no way, I'm 100% sure this fight can't be fixed. Why? Because of the catch weight. Obviously, the Cotto and Pacquiao fight, they went all out for that. Great, good entertaining fight. They fought their hearts out. Because Roach saw Cotto as a threat, they made that fight at 145 and not 147. Because, theoretically, if it was a fixed fight, there was no need for Colati to come down and weight, because Manny was going to inevitably win. So why let him come in at 165? Let him come in at 160. It's gonna be fixed anyway. Margarito is probably going to be entering the ring about 158. If the catch was at 150, but I feel like they couldn't afford for Margarito to come in, to weigh in at 154, because this fight is not going to be fixed. This is going to be an all-out war. And the prediction that I made, and you guys, can watch on my page, I made a prediction video on the fight. I said there's no way that Pacquiao will lose, and I stick to that. I mean, obviously there's always a possibility of somebody losing, but I still go with Pacquiao in my prediction. But I never said it was going to be an easy fight. Mexicans have too much pride to be laying down in a fight. They're not gonna, Margarito will fucking, he'll probably be like, yeah, I'll let him win. Come out there swinging. I see this being a tougher fight. I never said it's gonna be a cakewalk. So I actually do think this is gonna be an entertaining fight. That doesn't mean pay $50 for it. But if you got a whole bunch of Mexican friends like me, pitch in $1, I guarantee there'll be 50 or more people at that house. I don't mean to be stereotypical, but there will be. You'll have a good time. It's worth pitching in and not contributing too much money, but doing it in large quantities so that everybody can see the fight. Don't come out of the pocket with $50, but go over to somebody's house to see the fight. That's just my opinion. Joe Slim 15.